What is up, everyone? It's your girl Fiery Fairy here, coming at you with my first ever paint job tutorial. This is going to be the Black Ops 4 version of the Dark Matter, so big shout outs to a gamer called Shawnee Dogs. He is the first person in the world to unlock it, so thanks to his hard work and perseverance, we all get to see what the Dark Matter looks like. Of course, his is animated and mine is just the knockoff, but this is my best attempt at trying to replicate the Dark Matter. For this paint job, I'm just going to walk you through it. It's actually really simple. It's not going to take too many layers, and it's going to be more about what looks right to you than copying my numbers exactly. So with that being said, we're going to start the walkthrough. You're going to have your background shape, and it can be any shape you want. I actually used a rectangle, but it doesn't really matter what you use as long as it fills up the whole entire gun. We're going to use a red and orange gradient mixture. For this, I didn't rotate it too much. You can rotate it if you don't really like the red-orange mixture. I didn't really change the 50-50 mix. I kind of liked it just as it was for the most part. I angled it slightly to get a little more red showing because the Dark Matter is more of a reddish color and it's kind of got the hints through it. So that's what I tried to replicate myself. For the next shape, we're going to use like this microism shape. It's kind of like a splattery shape. I like it. You're going to pick a red that's slightly darker than your base red color. You're going to just stretch it out just a little bit so it looks really patchy on the gun. And throughout this shape, you're going to copy with the big square button in the middle. And then you're going to paste with the R3 button. And these are for the PlayStation 4 controls. And after you cover up the whole gun, you're going to slightly stretch out some shapes a bit or twist them around and just spread them out through the gun until the gun is covered. So we're going to do that real quick. You've covered it up with the splotchy shapes. We're going to go in with another kind of like a blood splatter shape. This one's called Headshot, I believe. You'll also find this in the backgrounds. And you're going to spread this out. And we're going to make this like a yellow color. And this is kind of going to be the little speckles that you see throughout the gun. I actually recorded this video earlier, so I'm now doing the audio for it. I ended up not liking the yellow that I picked at first. I made it way too light. So after this, I'll be going back through and fixing it. And we're not going to do a gradient for this yellow. I ended up just changing it out. But if you want to do a lighter yellow, you can choose to do that. Or you can do a darker yellow. It's up to you. I just thought it didn't show up that much. And I wanted it to pop more. Now for this shape, you really only want the ends of it because you don't want too much of the yellow. You don't want big patches of yellow. So you just kind of want some of the dots that are spread out. So you really just want to stretch it out and pull it to the ends of the gun to where it's not seen. And keep those dots real spread out. I actually grab a hold of these shapes and move them under a little bit. That way they weren't sticking out too much. And they looked a little more spread out when I hid them under the red. Now we kind of have this, I don't know what this shape was. It's like these little lines. You'll find this in the decal section. I actually turned the opacity way down to about 30 or 40. I just didn't want it to show up too bright, but I wanted it to be there, so we turned the opacity down. And I wanted the lines to stay really thin, so I didn't stretch it too big, just so I could keep the lines thin. And then you're going to start copy pasting this shape and stretching it as you see fit, and kind of just spreading it out through the gun, hiding all the really chunky parts of yellow because you just really want the thin lines. Just keep playing around with it, spinning it and stretching it about until you get your desired look. There's nothing perfect about it, so it's just whatever looks good to you, and just keep playing with it until you like how the gun looks. Like I said, if you want to copy mine exactly, you can always pause it, but this is more of a random feeling type of camo. Now we got the yellow done, we're going to move on to the next shape. We're going to do kind of the black splotches. So I found another blood splatter shape, slightly different, for some different circles. Again, you're just going to want the very edges of this shape so you can get those weird splotty little circles. You don't want too much of anything sticking out. And you're just going to kind of spread this throughout the gun. Not too much, because in the gun I seen it didn't have too much black on it, but I noticed it had it throughout the gun a little bit. And got the black splotches throughout the gun. We're just going to add a little bit of some shadows. I found this stripy shape. I'm going to stretch that out pretty big, and we're going to turn the opacity down and just kind of blur it into the gun. I only used a couple of these. You didn't need really too many. It's just a little more black on the gun because it moves. So I was trying to just give it more of an effect by adding the black. And after you add a couple of these and turn the opacity way down to about 30, I believe. No, actually I only turned it down to 70. I didn't turn it down that much. I wanted it to stay a little dark. So you just put a couple of these on there, and then your gun is done. And that is my take on the dark matter. I might improvise and change this up and make a new one later on in the future, but I like this so far. I thought it was pretty easy, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new, thank you for watching so much. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. To all those who already watched, thank you so much for your support, and until next time, peace.